Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in to another episode of Nerd Up. This week I got Dalton Anthony.
Yo.
Got Asa Gray.
Yes.
I'm your host, Jesse Kimball, and I want to apologize for the noises that are coming out of my mouth and my face region.
Oh, I was about to say, it's like, that's kind of the podcast, buddy.
My sinuses are having their biennial attack against my face. So
I feel like it's everybody.
A lot of people are getting hit with it.
One of the ladies at work had to miss a day. I know, like, Mandy would have been here, but she just doesn't have a voice.
Yeah, Mandy's getting hit real hard by sinuses and allergies, right? I think it's just because of like how warm it got as quickly as it got.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
a lot of stuff.
And then it cooled off real quick.
Yeah. Mom didn't have a voice for the entire week, but I thought that was because she was like spent Saturday too hard cheering for Kazarian and Joey Ryan. Because I was like, it was Monday, I called her and she couldn't talk, and I was like, you cheering too hard? Yeah, no, it was just sinuses, I guess.
They actually missed work last Wednesday because of it. Like, I'm on the, at this point, like, I don't feel terrible anymore. I'm just still like, everything is running. And like, there's some coughing happening occasionally, but yeah, I actually would have, like, I would have liked to have lost my voice at some point during this because I actually like what my voice sounds like when I lose it. Mm-hmm. But I never did. Like, it just didn't happen.
Right.
Instead, I just got nasally, which... Anyway, on to the actual content of the show. We got a Sonic the Hedgehog trailer for that live-action Sonic movie. We talked a little bit about it on Thursday, sort of, and mostly a joke, because we all hoped it was a joke. But
I have the new conspiracy theory, the new hot take.
What's the new hot take?
I don't remember where I first saw it, but it's gained some traction. Like, it even ended up being... The guy who did a daily cartoon on Reddit for gaming and then just stopped but was like still making cartoons, he posted a thing about it, how so they knew the abomination that they had created.
Yeah.
And instead of taking it out back and putting it down out of its misery, well, let's cut it into a trailer. Then, when everyone's like, why have you done this to us? Why have you cursed our screens and our homes in such a way? We can do the news coming out of it of, okay, we understand you hate the design. Yeah, we're like 6 months away from it coming out, but we are going to totally rework the entirety CGI character that is the main focal point of this movie, knowing that they've already had that done.
Right.
Like, that was never what the movie was going to look like. This was the Red Dead Redemption 2 online of, okay, we're going to totally brick the economy. And then whenever everyone complains, we'll be like, oh, well, this is what we always wanted it to be anyway. Still not good, but we look good for fixing it.
Yeah, they look good for it. Now they have officially listened to the fans because, yeah, that's the other news about this. If you guys hadn't heard, the people behind this movie have heard the fans loud and clear, and they're like, all right, we get it.
Laughter and screams of horror.
We're going to redesign Sonic.
All right, so minus the face, I enjoyed the entire trailer. Like, I'm on board for this movie.
Honestly, like, yeah, I don't think that it's going to be a bad movie, except, you know, the soundtrack was or the song in the background was a little...
it's a great song.
An amazing song.
Great song. Weird choice for Sonic the Hedgehog.
I'm for it. I don't know why.
I don't either.
Because you know they're going to censor if it's just that the entire time, which it's not.
No, but I mean, yeah, it's not going to be in the movie at all, I'm sure. But it's just like, of all things for your Sonic the Hedgehog trailer, Gangster's Paradise.
We're talking about it. Maybe that was the intended purpose.
Again, and that's part of this whole is just like we're going to get people talking, and like this.
And boy, did they!
This movie has the most exposure that
Nightmare
it was
fuel
ever
face.
going to get. And you're right. Like, in general, like, it honestly, the movie does, other than Sonic's design, the movie doesn't look terrible. It looks like, to me, it looks like the level of bad I thought Venom was, where it wasn't a good movie, but it wasn't bad enough to be fun. I just didn't enjoy myself watching that movie.
Okay.
And I feel like that's where we're going to end up landing, because it's, you have Jim Carrey, who zany Jim Carrey's best Jim Carrey.
True.
But even that joke in the trailer went so long.
Yeah.
It was almost uncomfortable, like how long that went, like for a trailer.
Right.
Like it's a good joke. Yeah. Oh God.
That was a teaser.
Oh my God. Anyway, yeah, it's not a bad joke or anything. It just like for a trailer, it just felt awkward.
Yeah.
But either way, like I'm sure it's going to be, at least a kind of fun popcorn flick after they redesign Sonic, because as it stands right now, with Sonic looking so horrifying, I don't know if I could get through the movie and like even enjoy it as a popcorn flick.
They have to sell toys with Sonic looking like that. That's a Chucky doll.
That's not going to happen.
And I also want to
Even Mike. So I talked to Mandy about this. Her son Mikey.
Mm-hmm.
This is basically we were trying to figure out the target audience when we were talking about it on Thursday. Is it like people like us,
90s kids.
90s kids that grew up playing Sonic the Hedgehog and loving those games, or is it like Mandy's son's age, who is 9?
I'm not sure.
I
He's anywhere between 2 and 16.
Jesus. He's like 7 to 9.
Yeah, I think he's.
I'm gonna
like,
give a
9 is the
better
high.
age range for that one.
And 9 is the high.
also
Like I
right,
think he's.
so.
I think he's like. Yeah. I mean, you're right.
Yeah,
I don't know why y'all being crappy about it.
But either
I
way,
nailed it.
He is likely the other target audience, and he's a huge Sonic fan because
Yeah.
Mandy is a huge fan of Sonic the Hedgehog. So yeah, like, and even he was just like, I don't like it. I don't care anymore. And then just like,
Which is very telling.
yeah.
A Sonic obsessed child is not on board.
And when Asa says obsessed, he is dressed up as Sonic no fewer than 3 Halloweens.
Yeah, no, I didn't mean that.
and Comic-Con a few times.
I wasn't trying to make that sound bad.
No.
Like the boy loves Sonic.
The boy loves Sonic. I just wanted to give weight to what you
Yeah.
were saying. Like when it's not just like, yeah, he likes Sonic the Hedgehog a little. No, this kid really likes Sonic. And for him to look at this trailer and like, no, I'm good.
Bad news.
That's bad news.
And I want to believe that they're doing this intentionally as a marketing stunt, because the alternative is that, and from all of the actual like stories coming out of the development of the movie, is you had these like designers and artists being like, hey, we have created a monster. This is terrible. Do not make this the movie. And they were just saying that to a brick wall of executives who just see dollar signs.
They're like,
So-
Sonic will make money.
Yeah, and they're
Somehow.
and they are somehow blindsided by this backlash of showing it. So that means that there are so many teams of artists and visual effects people who are about to put in unhealthy, ungodly hours trying to right a mistake that could have been caught months ago. And no human deserves that.
In all probability, they have been working on another design for a while.
I mean,
but if your theory is right,
have they? If you're putting out a movie, are you coming up with and you're done? Like, is Pixar working on like, all right, well, what if Woody doesn't look right? Like,
I have no idea. I know like they're basically like slave wages and hours.
but that's what. So they're doing it because they have to get the actual movie out. They're not
Right.
spending any extra resources or time on
Redesigning
Plan B.
anything. Yeah.
There is no Plan B.
That's
Like I
what I'm saying,
said,
like-
unless.
This has been the plan from the get-go.
Yeah. Which that is the tinfoil hat level. Like, that's mostly a joke.
Yeah.
That's not me genuinely thinking that.
Because more than likely it was
This is
just
new
executives like, this is how I want it to look. This is good.
Yeah.
The people will like this.
Damn
and then the
new
people
Coke.
are like, we don't like this.
No.
And then they
Because
just
we
give
have
like the shocked
eyes.
Pikachu face. Like, whoa.
I did like the image that has come up of the it's Detective Pikachu and Sonic the Hedgehog.
they switched the.
No, they're starting the Super Smash Brothers
Oh yeah,
cinematic universe.
Sin shared that.
But someone posted the full time, like all of the phases.
Oh,
Super
God.
Mario, Super Mario Brothers, Super Mario World, like and just like different, like those are the trail. Like it was way too much detail. But
like
it. Was,
it.
But it was cool.
I can't wait for the Metal Gear Solid movie, just for Snake.
No, I think that was like phase 4. You got time.
Ah,
A lot of time. And even
Actually,
then,
they
I don't
are-
know if you want it.
They are making a Metal Gear Solid movie though.
oh, they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kojima's
It's-
not behind it though, is he?
No, he is not. But
Oh, well, that's gonna suck.
But apparently, the person who is making it, like the director slash
huge
screenwriter, is a huge Metal Gear
Metal Gear
fan
fan.
and has consulted with Kojima about it.
Oh, okay, good. I was about to say, I don't care how much you like something.
But let's be honest, like that story, I don't think will go on the big screen at all.
No, oh no, this is going to be like the Monster Hunter movie. Have you heard about that?
No.
Where it's essentially like an army squad gets transported to the Monster Hunter world, and I think it's been canceled.
Oh, that's good.
Maybe it sounds awful. They talk about it on Kind of Funny Games Daily every once in a while, and every time they talk about it, it just sounds worse and worse.
Because I was thinking it was going to be like,
Monster Hunter movie.
I could see it being like the Resident Evil movie, where you have like some similar themes and names.
they go to Raccoon City.
They go to Raccoon City and there's a virus that's infecting folks
Oh nope, September 2020.
for
Monster.
oh dear.
Directed and written by Paul W.S. Anderson. Starring Mila Jovovich, Tony Jaa, Ron Perlman, and T.I.
Huh.
This can't be right.
Huh. All right, well, let's go ahead and move on. In-game, we're going to go ahead and give a very spoiler-free review. If somehow you were listening to the show and haven't seen the movie and are still waiting for our review for it.
Why?
If so,
Where were you Tuesday? You had your chance.
Well, I mean,
Now you have no chance.
Tuesday was. In fairness, Tuesday was very much billed as a very spoiler-heavy episode.
There's a chance they were just like didn't even click on it.
Yeah, exactly. There's a good chance there because we do open with a spoiler-free review of that particular cast, and then we give a lot of warning and we move to the spoilers.
So, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen that, the only person that wasn't on that show that's on this one was me.
That is correct. So Dalton's is the only spoiler-free review that hasn't been on PZ85.
Yeah.
But
Mine has not my ranking, but my opinion of the movie has changed. A little bit. It has evolved.
In the
in the
talk
fallout
of the thing.
and all of the discussion of the movie.
Yeah. So anyway, spoiler-free. Dalton, what's your on the nerd up scale? What do you give it?
Full price.
Asa?
It's still full price. Like very very much full price. It's just the more discussion that happens around it,
The more
less
it drops on your
the more
MCU ranking.
the more it's like, a lot of this just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And not in the way, and I don't think it's in the way of, it's open to interpretation ending in the writers and the director can't agree on the story they were telling kind of way. And I think that's a little bit unforgivable when you've had 10 years to build this up. That said, the MCU is a cinematic marvel, no pun intended. It will never be duplicated. And it is a genuine feat to start with a long shot. No one cares about Iron Man at all. Even comic book fans didn't care about Iron Man.
Nobody's cared about Iron Man since like the 60s.
Yeah, until that movie came out. And to go from there and to steadily and consistently put out quality movie after quality movie, building on each other, and then ultimately culminating in Endgame and Infinity War is a miracle. Mm-hmm. And it's truly special, and it's kind of crazy to think like, wow, this has been a third of my life dedicated to this. Not dedicated, but like it has been a factor of my life.
One third of your life.
Third of my life. And it paid off so incredibly well and in such a satisfying way. Minus that complaint.
Which is, kind of a big spoiler.
But again, still, full price. If you haven't seen it, I can't imagine you're listening to the show and you haven't. But...
yeah, because when looking at it, it has, as of this morning, as in before Sunday sales have gone through, so before the conclusion of the weekend.
The Cinco de Mayo, Revenge of the 5th.
$2.18 billion worldwide is how much this movie has made.
2.8?
2.18.
1.8. Okay, I was like, whoa.
Yeah, no.
This thing gonna crack 3? No way.
2.18. I mean, it might.
But not in 2 weeks.
No, not in 2 weeks. Because it's one of those things. This is its second weekend, has not completely concluded, and it's at 2.18 billion worldwide. Everybody has seen this movie. I've seen it twice. I know several other of my friends have seen it twice at this point.
I plan on going. I do plan on going to see it again.
Because
it's probably going to be like one of those Tuesday cheap shows if I can get it.
Yeah, because there's a lot of stuff in the movie that after post movie discussion with your friends, you'd be like, all right, so there's a couple things that I kind of want to get some clarity on. Mm-hmm. And it's one of those things like coming out, like Asa talked about, the writers and the directors seem to have different opinions. I don't think that it truly impacted the movie, in my opinion.
Right.
But they definitely do disagree on certain things. And if you look at the directors, there's the director's opinion leaves kind of a small thing, just kind of, and then the writer's one is like, well, it's not, the directors may not have been going that direction, so some things felt kind of wonky in terms of the writing. But again, it's extraordinarily minor from my perspective. I still enjoyed the absolute crap out of this movie both times I watched it. I laughed, I cried, I clapped, and it's a phenomenal movie. And it's going to keep going. Like, we've got more movies coming. We've got Far From Home hitting in July.
That was actually something I wanted to talk about on Tuesday with everybody, of what is your hype level going forward with Marvel? Because to be perfectly honest, like, Spider-Man's going to be great, and I'm excited for it. Mm-hmm. But after that, like, I kind of wish it would have come out. Which, granted, it's going to deal with things because it's confirmed it's post Endgame. Yeah. It's going to deal with certain aspects of falling out of Endgame. So I'm almost more interested in that than I am the actual Spider-Man story.
Just to hopefully get a little bit more clarity on.
And I'm 100% certain we will not get any of that. I'm looking
same.
for. But
we might get like a mention or two of the events of Infinity War and Endgame, but for the most part, it's just going to be business as usual.
But coming up, what do we have coming up that we know of? Black Panther 2.
Yep.
Will be good.
Yep.
Doctor Strange 2 will be good.
We got Guardians 3 we know is down the pipeline.
Which I'm very excited for that because James Gunn is back.
Yes.
And then the Eternals. I don't even know who they are, genuinely. And this isn't like I didn't know much about the Guardians, but now they're like one of my favorite things in the MCU. No, this is I don't know who they are, and I definitely don't care. Like, this isn't characters I'm super interested in going and finding out about. So it's just a race of they're buying time for me until the Fantastic Four and the X-Men and the mutants get involved, which I honestly think that's probably not going to happen for another year minimum.
Yeah, no, like at minimum a year is when we're going to hear anything about it, because I think we are going to get something about it in Phase 4. Mm-hmm. But
they will mention like mutants and maybe even the Reed family or the Baxter Building or Latveria, something like that. We will get a mention of it well before, but like for an X-Men movie or a Fantastic Four movie, that's like 4 years out probably.
It's a while out. Because
unless
if we
they
didn't get an announcement now, then we're probably like, because I was thinking there's a possibility that since Disney's known this is going to go through, they had a Project Baxter they're working on or something like that.
Working title type thing, because we talked about that before.
Right.
Which is still possible.
But really unlikely.
Yeah.
But no, like my hype level, it's one of those things like I feel like after watching Endgame, I guess without like going too graphic on it, like I felt like I needed a cigarette. And now, I've got like I've had the build up and the culmination has finally happened. Mm-hmm. And then like I now am happy for a break. Like, I'm looking forward to more stuff. More stuff is going to be awesome.
Right.
But it's just like, like the past 11 years of, Marvel movies coming out, like, and that's all been wrapped.
Right.
And
that's the other thing too, is like since Avengers 1, we have been building to Thanos.
Right.
And now that's been like, all right, this is the end of Phase 4. Like Spider-Man is the end of Phase 4. That they are boxing up all of those movies into one Blu-ray collection. Because that is the story.
That is the Infinity Saga.
The Infinity Saga. Now I'm just like, okay, well, so, what's the next one though?
Right.
Like, what's the next one though?
Yeah.
Because like now we're just adrift in the sea of hype and expectation of
possibility.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Silver Surfer just gonna show up in London. Like, what's going on?
And I mean, I have a lot of faith in them at this point. Like they have racked up.
So much goodwill.
So much goodwill.
All the goodwill.
So, like, you talk about, like, the Eternals. Like, like, I don't care about the Eternals, but I'm going to watch it.
Oh, yeah, no.
And it's going to be a phenomenal film.
Play it back. Never said I wasn't going to watch
it. No. Yeah, I know.
Just,
I understand what you're saying. But, yeah, it's just, like, I don't care about those characters, but I bet you anything.
I will.
By the end of that movie, I will.
Which, to be fair, we do need to call out, there has been one major misstep in the MCU. And that's the Inhumans.
Yeah.
That was a big swing and a miss.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, in fairness, I feel like had they actually gone through with it and done it in a movie like the original plan was, instead of giving us the terrible TV show, then I think it could have gone better.
But would the movie have been better?
It would have had to have been. It would have had a way bigger budget at least.
Yeah.
Because like,
and they wouldn't have had time to like ruin the story.
It couldn't have been worse.
Because that was a lot of the problem with the Inhumans. Like, it definitely was on a TV show budget in the fact that like Medusa. Like, oh my God. So with the
they don't
CG,
always nail they don't always nail the CG in the MCU movies.
Yeah, like 98% of the time, the CG in the MCU movies spot on. Crystal fantastic, especially in the later series.
Yeah.
But then like you get to those TV shows, and a lot of times it's really good. Ghost Rider looked incredible, but then you get like Medusa. That like it was so expensive for them to have her hair for the few scenes that they had it that they buzzed her in the first episode. So
because like this is not viable.
Yep, this ain't happening. We can't do this. So yeah, they buzzed her in the first episode, and like. And the ridiculous thing about that is that in the actual lore of the Inhumans, that would not have mattered to Medusa. she can increase and decrease the length of her hair at will. So if they buzzed her hair, she just makes more. It's just like, oh, that was cute. Whoop. In fact, I'm pretty sure that's happened in the comics.
Bruce Almighty trying to shave. Evan Almighty. I'm sorry.
You all right?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I told you it was going to happen.
That was the it was the sequel, Evan Almighty.
Wasn't it? Who was the guy?
Also,
that played?
the Santa Claus.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that's another example of.
they've done that a lot.
Yeah. Anyway,
It's funny every time.
Real quick, which kind of leads into another thing. How excited are you for the Ghost Rider series?
it's got Robbie.
Yeah, because it's the same actor from Agents of Shield.
Yes.
And he was the best part of that season.
Yep.
Like hands down.
So that is. Oh, real quick, back to Endgame though. Before I get to that, we do have official confirmation that the Disney Plus shows are going to deal with the aftermath of Endgame.
Which, duh.
We figured they would.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, there was a lot of theories going around, especially with one particular show, that like maybe it was prequel stuff.
Yeah.
But it's because, in particular, it's Infinity War spoilers, WandaVision.
Yeah.
We had talked about it before Endgame even came out. Like, what are they going to do with that?
Yeah.
Because that's a pretty critical part of that anyway. So yeah, like WandaVision is going to be like that. That was the main one. But yeah, apparently it is going to be after or post Endgame.
Yeah.
So that's kind of big news.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, the news that Ace was talking about here, we got Ghost Rider and Hellstrom are going to get live action series on Hulu in 2020.
Did we get Hellstrom on Agents of Shield, or is that or are they just adding that to the?
Looks like they're just adding it to Hulu.
Because is that the same? Is it Ghost Rider is getting a show and then Hellstrom's getting a show,
Yes.
or is it okay? I misread that.
At least that was the way they made it sound. Like we were getting two different series. We were getting one based on Ghost Rider and one based on Damon and Anna Hellstrom, who are the children of Satan in the Marvel comics. They're kind of like the Marvel version of Constantine.
Okay.
Except more super, like they themselves are more supernatural than Constantine.
Because he's just a dude who's real good at magic.
Right. Versus those two are literal like children of Satan. So they have a little bit more magic mumbo jumbo stuff going on.
If there's one thing I learned from Ant-Man and the Wasp, Ant-Man is also really good at magic.
Anyway, so
They are separate shows.
yeah, okay. I can imagine them also like culminating like similar to how the rest of them showed up. Yes, please. Next show, Blade. And then the three of them are going to get a Defender-style culmination of the Spirits of Vengeance, because that's a team that they've all been on a couple of times. Which
You just got really excited for something that's not going to happen.
I did.
I mean, there's been a lot of talk about Blade and where he fits into this new MCU Disney
because
Plus.
Disney got Blade back a couple of years ago.
Who had Blade?
No, not Paramount. It would have had to been
Universal?
Universal, probably.
Okay.
It's somebody who just let the contract lapse, or maybe it was Sony.
I don't remember.
I feel like Sony wouldn't have let that
I'll
happen.
double check.
Yeah, I was about to say, somebody check on those Blade movies real quick. Either way, yeah, it was somebody that, like, instead of doing what Fox did with the Fantastic Four and just, like,
Ruin it again.
pooping out a quick turd to renew that license, they're just like, you know what, let Marvel have Blade back.
Man, didn't that just seem like a colossal waste for them to just sell it 2 years later or 3 years later?
A little. Well, because I imagine they didn't intend on ever selling everything to Disney.
I thought you were about to say I don't think they intended on that movie being as big a piece of crap as it was. Be like, I feel like everybody in that room knew.
Yeah, no, they all did. They're like, all right, this is the best we got for a Fantastic Four script. You know, whatever, let's do it.
Y'all are doing Blade dirty here, Google. Because I typed in who owned the movie rights to Blade, and it was, Marvel got Ghost Rider and Luke Cage. It's like, man, that's not even what I searched.
Not even close, Google.
Let's see if I can find. I'm still looking.
But yeah, I'll keep going on that.
Yeah, no, that could be really cool. Yeah, we've got, so it'll be 2020. We'll get those shows on Hulu, because I guess Disney, since they still own a significant portion of Hulu, are going to continue that deal of putting out exclusive shows on that service. Like, they're going to keep the Runaways on there for a while. And yeah, I guess they're adding these two as well. That's all we got for that now. But in the meantime, while he's still looking that up, Phil Lord and Chris Miller are going to oversee a slate Spider-Verse TV series for Sony.
Excited.
Yeah, so these are the two guys that were behind Into the Spider-Verse. Obviously the movie was absolutely phenomenal.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Just so good.
New Line Cinema is who distributed it, and then New Line, Marvel, Imaginary, Sean Daniel Productions. So I think it was New Line is who had it.
Because I thought like Universal, Sony, and Fox were the only ones that bought Marvel properties, but maybe not.
I'm on the because I couldn't find anything news wise, so I'm on the Wikipedia page for
The Blade movie.
for the Blade movies.
Well, then again, who owns New Line?
Distributed Warner Brothers.
Warner
So
Brothers owns New Line?
they had somebody else had to have owned a New Line back in the day. There's
Distributed by New Line Cinema, in parentheses Warner.
Yeah.
Well,
I wonder if like somebody bought or Warner Brothers bought New Line from someone else. Because
Maybe.
obviously, like Warner Brothers has had the DC titles for a long time.
Yeah.
Way longer than way before Blade came out. Anyway, so yeah, the Spider-Verse stuff.
Nope, it was acquired by Turner Broadcasting System in 1994, and then Turner later merged with Time Warner, now Warner Media in '96, and then was merged with Warner Brothers in 2008.
Okay, so it would have been Turner.
Yeah.
So that doesn't surprise me, but
that's funny that Warner Brothers was just holding on to that IP for a while then.
yeah,
They were just like, nope.
Honestly, it probably lapsed, and they're like, oh man,
We should have had him job out the Batman once.
That's actually
petty.
probably like very exclusive in their contract. Like for Blade, they can't do that. Cannot interact with any other comic.
That doesn't mean Scooby-Doo can't mess him up. Like, what I'm saying is, kind of surprised.
No, I mean, I am too. Anyway, so yeah, Spider-Verse stuff for and this isn't just like a Spider-Verse TV show. This is a slate of TV shows.
Yeah,
They're going to oversee a bunch of different properties from that Spider-Man contract that Sony has.
And didn't we already know about a Spider-Ham spinoff of some sort? Like, didn't we talk about that a couple
was a
weeks
comic
ago?
book.
That was a comic book?
Yeah, we don't have a TV show or anything for it. He's just getting his a solo book. So yeah, that's a thing that's happened, and they haven't given us any more details on what exactly is going to be in there, or even if it's going to definitely be based on the Spider-Verse movie, because it might not be. It might just be all completely separate stuff. So
I would like a Justice League Unlimited style show with the Spider-Verse. Highlight a different Spider-Man every show.
That'd be kind of cool.
Or like each season is its own like individual Spider-Man story.
Have you seen Ultimate Spider-Man?
Yeah.
It's really good.
Is it kind of like that?
No.
That's the one that had Drake Bell as
I'm just like, did I miss a season where they did
No,
that?
but there were episodes where they played around with like other Spider-Men.
Oh, yeah, I see what
bit.
you're saying, yeah.
They had a straight up like Spider-Verse episode where they had like, it was a 2-parter or something like that, where they had a bunch of different spiders coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that'd be neat. Like, give us like 5 episodes of Spider-Gwen, and then give us like, and then you can use Spider-Man that you haven't used, like
Ghost Spider.
Okay. I did that to somebody recently, so I feel like that was instant karma. Pretty sure it was Sadie. So she's not listening, but sorry. But then give us Spider-Man that we haven't got, like that we didn't get in Into the Spider-Verse. Like, I want a Spider-Punk TV show. 5 episodes. Give me just enough to be like, that was good. Because the one shot of Spider-Punk was fun. I liked that book a lot.
Oh, right? I told you it would be.
Yeah, I loved it. Yeah.
I told you like it. Hobie Brown.
Yeah, this is good. Like it's a stupid concept, but boy, it's fun.
It was so much fun.
Yeah.
That was a fun book.
That was like my favorite Marvel Legend from last year was Spider-Punk.
Yeah,
because he had a hand that you could plop in that was holding the pick. So he was playing the guitar. Yeah, it was a baller.
That was also the in the Spider-Man video game. Spider-Punk outfit was the one I used until I got the Black Cat suit.
Yeah,
boy, I like that Black Cat suit.
Man, that game. They need to make another one.
They do.
Hurry up.
Yeah,
PS5 launch exclusive. PS5 launch game. Not going to happen.
Nope.
It'll be like a year after PS5.
I also need a new God of War. Man, last year's games just beat the hell out of me. Mm-hmm. This year's game's been a little underwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we still got more on that later. So anyway, we got Fantastic Beasts 3 has got an official announce date for November 12th, 2021, which from the soft, I guess, reception that they got for Fantastic Beasts 2, I wasn't completely sure they were going to do a 3, but I guess they're at least going to finish out.
What do you mean soft? Like critically, or it didn't make its money? Like, well, I'm assuming it wouldn't make a third one if it didn't make its money backs, but
I don't know that it did make its money back. because it did not do well in the box office.
I feel like it almost had to have.
It didn't do well in the box office or critically. And like I remember enjoying it, but I didn't enjoy it enough to buy it when I saw the Steelbook.
Ooh. That's
It was one of those things where it was like, ooh, I could buy the Steelbook of Fantastic Beasts 2.
it made its money back triple.
Oh wow, okay.
653.7 million, and its budget was 200 million.
I mean, but when we're talking about movies that make $1 billion, it doesn't seem like a big of a deal.
Well, I mean, that's still a significant.
Yeah,
amount of
no, they made their money back.
Yeah, if someone is disappointed with the $400 million that they have, I would glad you can send that over to me. I will give it a loving home.
Right. I will
Just
give.
one? You're not gonna.
I will give 1/10 of a percentage of that a loving home. Mm-hmm. Like, anyway. So yeah, like we're getting a third one November 12th, 2021. Hopefully it'll be better than the second one, because the second one, like I said, it was enjoyable in that, boy, I love Harry Potter, but it wasn't like he didn't.
So it's like,
but I just really like that universe.
I don't know that much about Harry Potter, but I'm pretty sure I know he's not going to appear.
See, that's the thing. Like, I love the Harry Potter story, but I don't care about anything that's not. I don't care about anything in that universe that's not revolving around.
Did you
him.
watch the first Fantastic Beasts?
I wasn't a fan of it.
Oh,
Yeah,
I liked
it. Was good, but like it didn't. Like I wasn't like I need to see a second one.
Is the
That's
third
how
one,
I felt about the second one.
And if this is if this question like hinges on a spoiler, you can feel free to tell me and let me know that it's a spoiler thing. Are they going to run into any problems using Johnny Depp with some of the like controversy around him for the third one?
We have actually gotten official confirmation that Johnny Depp will not return for the third movie.
Okay. So do you cast that character, or is it going to be one of those things where, because he played Grindelwald, didn't he?
Yes.
Yes, or where it's like Grindelwald's home planet needed him, and his spaceship exploded on the way back home.
I have theories about it, but they'd be kind of spoilery.
Spoilery? Okay, that's fair. I was just curious because I knew that was kind of like that stuff kind of started to come to light about the time that movie was coming out.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens with that.
Okay.
But anyway, the last little bit of news we have on this side, Noah Centineo will be He-Man in the live action Masters of the Universe movie, which also there's a live action Masters of the Universe movie coming.
This is one of those things that Into the Spider-Verse is ruined for me. Not everything needs to be live action. Like I don't see the need for a live action He-Man movie. Give me a new He-Man like animated movie, like make it as like epic, as crazy as you want, and I could easily see that being a collection of figures that I would start to like get itchy about. But live action, the live action side just does nothing for me. Yeah, especially because it's not Dolph Lundgren. So
fair.
Yeah, I mean, and this kid is no Dolph Lundgren either.
But who is?
Which granted, we said the same thing about like look at the first Captain America movie. Like look at what Chris Evans' body looked like in the first Avenger and Endgame, and tell me he's not starting to kind of phone it in a little, because he was huge in first Avengers. No one even took their shirt off in Endgame.
Well, one person did.
One did. One did. And I'm sorry for going on the sexist tangent. It's not okay to objectify anyone's body. I would literally kill both of you if it meant I could look like Chris Evans in Endgame.
Same,
right?
But
yeah, I love you too. I love you two dearly, but
you are
like,
family to me. But I have to push that button.
Kill these two. You'll look like Chris Evans from like just mashing the button.
He would call the four right abs Jesse and the four left ribs Dalton, or abs. I can't. My body anatomy things are.
So you're thinking about what Chris Evans looked like in First Avenger.
Which boy,
that
rewatching
improv scene of just
yeah, Haley Atwell. That was one of those things that was not scripted. She was like, they purposefully, like in my head canon, they purposefully did not tell Haley Atwell that they would be, interacting with Chris Evans without a shirt, and they didn't show him, how ripped he had gotten for that.
That was literally their first day on set, and she'd only ever seen him in heavy sweaters.
She just walks up like, oh. Because, good Lord. Yeah, Ace and I have talked about it before. Like, I remember he and I saw Civil War together. And I was going back through the Marvel, I'm going back, do my MCU rewatch. I saw the first Avenger, and I was like, boy. Like, what I would give that's not diet and exercise to look like that.
Yeah, no legitimate.
I would give that is.
I would do anything except for exert effort.
to look like Chris Evans in the
give
first
all my-
Avenger. Then I watched Civil War, and the helicopter scene. I'm
Where
like,
he's holding on to the helicopter and switches grips.
yeah, me and Asa saw that together, and I was like, I don't know if I'm entirely straight anymore. Like,
We all might be a little bit like Shannon.
I didn't think
Just a little
I didn't
gay.
think I was to begin with, but like that's just reaffirming some feelings.
yeah, that was.
Turns out I have a type.
Chris
Marvel,
Evans.
Marvel
Chris.
heroes.
Just Marvel Chris.
Yeah, that's fair.
Any one of the three of them.
Yeah, but there's like just people in Marvel movies. I think. Like, is that a sexuality of just attracted to people in Marvel movies? 'Cause they don't cast unattractive people.
They have their own subreddit.
I'll have to take notes after the show. I'll consult.
Yeah, because I mean, like, even outside of that, you move on to like Scarlett Johansson, and now we've got to stop. We have to stop.
What's that subreddit,
This next
dog?
portion of our podcast is brought to you by Villainous Grounds in Perryville, Missouri. Stop by there for all of your comic book needs.
Tell them which body in the MCU you like the best.
They will get a laugh out of
and
it.
then tell them we told you to say that.
They will get an extra laugh out of that. And they will believe you. But anyway, so DC has announced a new Batman Superman comic. The creative team is going to be Josh Williamson and David Marquez.
The last one wasn't great. They did one of the New 52.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't good.
Well, this one is going to be a follow-up to The Batman Who Laughs, which I think is one issue away from done.
I know I have the first 4, but that doesn't mean that I'm not either missing one or
So I
it
think
hasn't come out yet.
I think it's supposed to be a 6-issue miniseries.
Yeah.
So yeah, they after that we're gonna get the Batman Superman book, and apparently, I don't know. I'm sure this is some kind of spoiler for Batman Who Laughs, but there's gonna be 6 sleeper heroes that he turns evil. And basically, the Batman Superman book is going to be them learning that happened, and then trying to figure out who it is before
They do something terrible.
yeah, before something awful happens. So
That sounds like a neat hook. Like I might, and I need to read Batman Who Laughs because I have those first 4 issues. I just haven't read them yet.
yeah, I skipped out on it. I don't know why, because like I feel like I should have, but
You weren't as big of a fan of metal as I was, though.
correct. But then again, like
No
I
one should
really
have been
really
as big
liked
of a
all the offshoot books. I love
Those
the
one-shots.
offshoot, the one shots. The rest of the series was really meh, but the one shots, whew. So yeah, an entire book about Batman Who Laughs, I probably should have bought, but I just didn't. I think I got issue 1 maybe, just because it was an issue 1.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I got any other
I
ones.
found something.
But anyway, do what?
Marvelous News. They do mainly action figure stuff. Said Marvel announces exclusive agreement with Pat Gleason.
Huh.
Yeah, that was just posted 5 minutes ago.
Well, all right then.
Thanks, Facebook.
Yeah. All right. Well, in more DC news, we've got Doomsday Clock pushes again.
Caught myself. Just that gut reaction.
Yeah, we've got number 10 is going to get pushed back an extra week, which isn't too bad. But then issue 11, 3 months. It's a 3-month pushback. This book was supposed to be done in 2018.
Patreon.com/Podzilla1985 for $1. You can get our pre-show. And on that pre-show, I did not know this news. I had not seen this news. So Jesse said that sentence out loud, and I had a very visceral, honest reaction that I cannot repeat here. So if you go to patreon.com/Podzilla1985 for just $1, you can hear a man's spirit break.
And folks, I always give I go over the notes for the show on this pre-show every week for Nerd Up. So for this $1, you can go back and listen to. Particularly, Dalton's reactions are usually the more
Profane.
yeah.
Profanity
But
laced ones.
this one, Asa, like it's worth the $1 just to listen to this week's pre-show.
Because it hurt my soul.
So yeah, 3 months for book 11. We're supposed to be getting the first part of the trade in October of this year. And then in March of 2020 is when we're supposed to be getting the trade for the rest of it. Which honestly, at this rate, I don't even know if we'll get issue 12 by 2020.
That's how they hook. Oh God. I just heard a really bad business practice pop in the back of my head, and I don't like it. The issue 12 is in the trade, and you can get that a month before the actual book comes out. that literally was the thought I had, guys. I'm sorry. There it was.
Yeah, issue 1 released November 22nd, 2017,
Yep.
and it was supposed to be every 2 months.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Was actually originally supposed to be a once monthly, and then they changed it to every 2 months.
And we weren't too upset
to
about
give
that.
it,
We were like,
yeah,
all right, cool.
yeah, to give it a little bit of extra time to release. And it's a 12 issue, so that would have put it like partway. We should be getting issue 12 like for the every 2 month release. Should have been like in a few months, I think. Right?
I'm not
No.
sure. I'm reading the Wikipedia to see what the
If
original.
it's every 2 months, that means it takes 2 years to get through 2 issues. Am I hearing that
Or
right?
12 issues.
12 issues, yeah. So
Yeah.
it takes 2 years
But
to get through 12 issues.
We had gotten the first
In November of
3
17.
when they in
Oh,
November
when they first delayed.
Yeah, it was like the first 2 or 3 issues we already got in the monthly schedule, and
Yeah.
then they swapped it to the every 2 months.
Oh, okay, yeah, you're right. You're right.
Originally because it was, I forgot it was monthly. I forgot they moved it. Was originally scheduled to end in December 2018
Yep.
with planned breaks in March and August. So they were going to take 2 months off and still get it in December of 18.
Yeah.
Well,
Yep. So now we're supposed to be, because I think that means that we'll have issue 10 2 weeks from now.
So
I
it
think
was
is what that puts.
so it was supposed to take those 2 months off. Then in January of 18, it was announced that it was just taking a full break for March and April, and then it'll release again in May of 18, switching to a bi-monthly schedule with the series ending in July 2019.
Yep.
And then issue number 8 was pushed back from November 28th to December 5th. Issue 9 was pushed back from January 23rd to March 6th. Issue 10 was pushed back from March 27th to May 29th. Issue 11th pushed back from May
3 weeks or
22nd
4
to
weeks
August
now.
14th. And then no word on 12.
Yeah.
Other than it's been pushed back 3 months.
So we're not going to get issue 11 then now until November from the sounds of it.
So yeah, it might be 2020.
Yeah, it'll
It might legit be
before we
2020
get,
by the time this
issue
comes out.
So anyway,
yay!
Holy.
and like I at this point, like I don't want to read any more Doomsday Clock. Like I know I have a couple of issues back.
I'm so glad I haven't started it.
Because at
Same.
this point I am forgetting what has happened in the first few issues. Mm-hmm. Because it's been phenomenal, like what I've read.
And it
You sound legitimately upset.
I am,
and I know you
yeah.
are. Yeah, like it's just one of those things like,
It's that thing where this is my problem with the big world affecting events that Marvel and DC does. Marvel had that big cluster whenever Secret Wars, the final issue, got delayed after the first issues of stuff
From
dealing with
all
the
new, all
fallout,
different or whatever it was.
the fallout of Secret Wars.
it was
came
spoiling
out.
their own books.
Yeah.
Yep.
And now you have this where it's like, this is setting up the Watchmen in the DC universe, and that can't just be a small thing. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Even with like the button being a thing last year, it's
And boy, what an underwhelming thing that was.
I think honestly though, like thinking back, I think we might have had our expectations just too high.
think
I
so,
liked
too.
it a lot. I actually did like the button.
It was fine. Like what it was fine. It's just I was hoping for it was going to be a bigger deal.
Yeah.
But that moment between
those two characters.
where when Flash hands Batman the envelope,
Yeah.
yeah, that was tears.
That was good stuff.
I need to get caught up on the current run of Batman though, because I have questions and issues, and I don't know who I can direct those to.
Fair enough. All right. Well, moving on here. This next portion of the podcast is brought to you by Press Start to Join. You can find all of their content at ps2jshow.com, including their social media links and all their past podcasts. Last Wednesday every month is History of Gaming. The most recent episode was about Defense of the Ancients, the predecessor to League of Legends. Mm-hmm. So definitely check that out. See where the MOBA craze got its start. All right, so we got a Borderlands 3 gameplay, like spectacular, really. Like I don't know, like event even. Mm-hmm. Like we got to see so much more gameplay than I thought we were going to. They straight up took us like halfway through the first mission.
Well, it was we saw the intro, and then they jumped ahead to when we were level 10.
Yes.
Well, one of the characters was level 10. Because they did that really great demonstration of how playing with your friends is going to work.
Yeah, which everything about this makes me happy. Like the one thing that came out that was like a kind of a complaint and then was handled extremely poorly. Microtransactions.
Yeah.
So
Randy Pitchford handles something poorly on social media? Shocked.
Perish the thought.
Shocked, I say.
Yeah, so he said like after that initial gameplay, which we'll get on more on that in a second, that there were going to be no microtransactions at all in the game, which sweet. I honestly kind of figured that we were still going to get the outfits and stuff as microtransactions, but and I actually somehow interpreted the way that Randy Pitchford meant it, but
the words he actually chose to say,
the words he chose to say were wrong. In that he said there will be no microtransactions for this game. There's going to be paid DLC.
Much like the first two Borderlands,
Yeah,
which you've heard us talk about that before, that was the perfect way to do DLC.
That is Borderlands, in my opinion, is still the gold standard. They've already announced it's going to be 4 DLC packs.
More torque, please.
So we're gonna get 4 DLC packs for it, and we will still have cosmetic microtransactions, which, if you guys didn't play any Borderlands 2 out there listening, basically the way they had it set up in that, it's usually $1 a piece. You can buy neat outfits for the characters. Like it does absolutely nothing. You still get a ton of outfits and customization options in the game through quests, drops, etc. But you can get some extra neat ones for like $1 a piece. It's not loot boxes, which, thank God, it's not loot boxes. Because even with Borderlands 2 on PC, I bought more than a couple of the outfits because I was like, it's $1? I spent $1 on dumber things. Bye.
That's such a bad way to live your life.
Yeah, and you've spent much more than $1 on skins for characters in a video game.
Correct. Yeah, in League of Legends, some of those skins are upwards of $25 a piece.
Marvel Heroes.
Oh, yeah.
We don't need to go back down. We don't need to go revisit those memories.
No.
Borderlands. Think about Borderlands.
Yeah, so anyway.
Which this kind of terminology and phrasing, coming back and biting a developer, more on that when we talk about Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
And the note loot boxes thing.
So, yeah, the gameplay, though. So the running gun is just a Tediore gun, which makes me so happy. It's not an ability, so Borderlands 2, if you reload a Tediore gun, instead of like putting a new magazine in it, you just throw it away and it blows up. You lose whatever ammo was in that magazine, which is a little unfortunate. So you run through ammo way quicker in the Tediore stuff. But regardless, you threw it and it blew up. It was really cool.
You got like a little mini grenade out of it.
Yeah.
And then another one just respawns in your hand.
Yep. In this one, you throw it out there and it shoots the rest of the magazine at. Like it's a little scout. You just throw it at a little turret.
I love him
Girl's
so
legs.
much. I don't know why, because I'm not someone who's like, oh, look how cute it is. Look how cute it is, though. He just got the 2 little legs. He's just going.
He's just running and gunning. He's having a great time.
It makes my cold, dead heart just light up.
So that makes me really happy. Like we got to see a lot of the graphics in action, and I know a lot of people are saying it just looks like Borderlands 2. Clearly, you haven't played Borderlands 2 in a while.
Yeah, going back, it's kind of jarring almost.
Yeah,
playing it on Xbox.
This was an Xbox 360 game. Even remastered, it's very clearly an Xbox 360 game. It still looks all right. It's the cartoony stuff, but like you see, like the Tiny Tina stuff is when it really showed up for me. 'Cause, I mean, it happens like in other parts of the game too, where you're just kind of like, this was for Xbox 360. But Tiny Tina in general, like you have like a lot of the movement, a lot of the interactions you have with the characters, like it's stiff. It looks almost it's like a motion comic,
and it's aged well. Like, and that's part of one of the benefits of cell shading. But when you look at Borderlands 2 in action, and then you look at this video of Borderlands 3, yeah, it is a very noticeable how much nicer it looks.
Yeah.
And we'll be having the same conversation when it's like PS6.
Yeah.
Or, PS5 when something comes out, and it's just like, man, that looks good for a PS4 game. Or, yeah, it looks good for a PS4 Xbox One game.
Yep.
But it's that art style, you play, you go back and look at some of those old other 360 games, and it's woof.
Yeah.
Yeah, because basically a lot of the animation style, like a lot of the animations, it's still the similar art style with the cell shading and everything, but the animations are the big deal, which, like, the animations and textures look a lot better. They look a lot less flat, which is something you got a lot in Borderlands, which was on purpose. Like, it was a purposeful effect, but now they figured out a way to texture it where it actually, does have this, like, really nice looking 3D, fully formed modeling and stuff. Like, it just looks really, really pretty. They added in, like, sliding. You can also now, like, vault over stuff, which is really, really exciting.
Scramble up stuff, too.
Yep. We got to see Maya in action.
Them talking about trying to just make it more
Or not
Borderlands.
Maya.
Amara.
Amara, yeah. The new siren.
Making it as much Borderlands as possible. More Borderlands than ever. Focus on the gunplay and how that feels, and then everything else just kind of falls into place with the loot system that they've already, kind of perfected a little.
Because their loot system is still phenomenal. Like they're
so
gonna
much
have
of it.
Yep, they're gonna have more bosses than ever, which is saying something. Like they talked about they're gonna have like raids and like events happening in the world just randomly, which yes please.
Worlds, because now
yeah.
Sanctuary 3 is a spaceship
Yep.
that you can travel.
Yeah.
You're not just on one planet.
We're gonna be on no fewer than 3 planets in this game.
And just that first one, the city, I'm totally blanking on the name of, but like, I mean, yeah, and there was that Hyperion city that we went to. But like there's just the color and everything was. This game was beautiful.
Because they showed us a little bit of like at some point we found out more about Atlas and Maliwan, which is something like we really haven't known a whole lot about. Like the most lore we've gotten about Atlas is Homegirl from Borderlands 1 worked for them, trying to open up the vault for the Atlas Corporation. And the Atlas guns are always like they're the rarest guns in the game, and they're always amazing.
Yeah.
Versus like the Maliwan guns are always like there's your elemental ones. They always look super neat. And we got to learn a lot more about how corporations work. And apparently, I guess Maliwan is trying like a corporate takeover of Atlas or something like that, and it's not going well. Or vice versa. I don't remember what exactly. I was trying not to pay too much attention to the story.
Yeah, because as much as like as great as the story was for 2, like I'm not playing Borderlands 3 for the story. It'll be a nice bonus, but it's that loop. Give me that sweet gameplay loop.
Yeah. So either way, I'm super excited about it. Like all the both of the planets we saw looked super nice. Like everything looks so good. And I'm so excited to play more of this game. I'm so excited to play this game. Like we got to see, because in addition to seeing, them playing the couple of missions that they played, they also let a whole bunch of streamers just on the floor play through like several missions in free play. They got to do a couple of missions for Zero and a couple of other missions like on that second planet you get to go to.
I just like that they keep all the characters.
Yeah.
Like the legacy characters, I love that.
So we definitely will see Lilith again because she's, I don't want to, I guess spoiling Borderlands 2 isn't a big deal, but Lilith is now the leader of the Crimson Raiders. We know that Zero shows up in the game. I'm sure that the other characters are going to show up. We're going to see more Salvador. We're going to see Gage. We're going to see Dalton, why are you looking at me like that? Maya,
Krieg.
You're gonna miss the name of the one that I play the most.
Axton.
The soldier.
There it is.
Axton.
Yeah, I love Axton. I loved Roland in the first game. I'm bummed out that class really isn't gonna be there this time.
Yeah, well, Mose.
Is he gonna be like that character? She gonna be like that character?
Yeah.
Except instead of a turret, she gets a full-on mech.
Yeah.
Cool.
That
See, I
your
saw that
teammates can also pilot.
See, I saw that and I'm just like, oh, that's more Gage, but
It's kind of a hybrid between the two.
yeah.
Like
I'll probably play as her
because she more specializes in gunplay. Like the skill trees. The skill trees look so ridiculously
Each
in
with
depth.
their own ult too, instead of just like one ult and then
just
spread between.
All right. So we're actually going to talk about this coming Tuesday. Apparently, is the hype train. If you didn't know that, Asa.
I did not. Makes sense though.
Yeah, I was going to message tomorrow, like you and Trevor. So we're going to talk a whole lot more about this on Tuesday's episode.
Yeah.
We might see if Dalton's free, and he could be on that show, but he's shaking his head. So it's probably a no.
Yeah, I got a thing I got to go through.
So we're going to talk a whole lot more about Borderlands 3 there. We got a little bit of time left here. First, I want to mention there's going to be a new Earthworm Jim game in development. Now, before you get all excited, the only way you're going to be able to play this game exclusively for the upcoming Intellivision Amico, which is going to be just a new Intellivision system, $150 coming out October of next year. It's the Intellivision, for those of you that have never seen one. It's a goofy little Atari system, had what looked like a hybrid between a corded phone and a TV remote.
Yeah.
Was the controller with a little spin disc on there. It's still got that disc on there with a couple of buttons and a touch screen at the top. You're also going to be able to download a controller app for your phone and play with that. It's gonna remaster a ton of old Atari games. They're gonna add some new games on there.
The ball's on you.
Yeah,
or the ball's
it's-
on them to
Yeah,
say
it makes
we're
no sense.
remastering Pong. What are you gonna round the edges out a little bit?
Well, and it's not even just that. It's also the whole like they're like there's a market that's not being met of just family friendly, like family focused console. Like it sounds like they're wanting to be the new Wii, except no one told them that the Switch came out.
Yeah,
Like
it's
Nintendo has done something other than the Wii U. They're doing fine. And yeah, I don't get it. This just screams money laundering scheme to me.
a little bit. And if that wasn't enough to prevent me from playing a new Earthworm Jim game, they got back the original crew, which shouldn't be a bad thing. But I don't know if you guys know about like the lead artist animator for the original Earthworm Jim, Doug TeNapel.
I know literally nothing about anything Earthworm Jim other than it was a game that I was real bad at.
All right, well, Doug TeNapel is a real piece of trash human being. Actively on social media harasses transgendered people.
Oh well, yeah, man. F that person.
Climate change denier, big time like hater of the like LGBT community in general.
So anti
Just-
Lil Dicky is what I'm hearing.
You're just a real scumbag human. So I don't really want to support anything that he puts out, even if it means another good Earthworm Jim game. Because I liked the original two, or like the first two Earthworm Jim games were pretty fun. I remember enjoying those quite a bit. But yeah, I ain't buying nothing that he's putting out.
Is it weird that like I never got into Earthworm Jim because I had Booger Man as a kid?
It's not weird.
And I just kind of associate those two as being like one and the same. Just that weird kind of gross art style. Earthworm Jim than that, and I'm very much just simplifying it down to what my experience was as a kid. But I was real bad at Earthworm Jim, but I kind of liked Booger Man. He was gross, but
Yeah, he was. So was Earthworm Jim. And apparently, yeah, Doug TeNapel. Also gross.
They found the perfect source material.
Just gross. Just a gross person with a gross personality. Anyway, all right. So in the last like 5 minutes here, we're gonna have the final. I guess for now at least,
yeah, you say final until they start announcing those DLC characters,
Ace's Mortal Kombat Minute this week featuring Dalton Anthony.
Yay!
which is our Mortal Kombat review. Which before I get into it, I want to make one thing really clear because there's a lot of misinformation going around on how the microtransactions work in Mortal Kombat. There was that BS story that gained a lot of traction that if you wanted everything, you had to spend like $6,000.
Yeah, I saw that and I thought that was wildly untrue.
It is wildly untrue.
Yeah.
That's not how the microtransactions work. And we'll get into how the actual grindiness and the crypt works here in a second. But no, the only thing you can purchase with real world money are called time crystals. Those time crystals are used to buy specific items that are on a rotation.
Yeah, it's
so
that,
you have
it's
to
that
open
specialty
up,
vault, right?
You have to open up, and it's not the crypt. It's not in the crypt at all. You have to like on the main menu, you can pull the right trigger, and it'll go take you to the store.
Yeah.
And the store has like 6 things at a time, from easy fatalities, skip fight tokens, which I guess you can use to earn rewards. I'm not 100% sure if it gives you the rewards for skipping or not, because I haven't used one.
Humble brag.
No, just because I haven't spent that much time in the tower.
Yeah, I
And
haven't either.
I just let my AI farm. But it's like you can get an intro, you can get a skin, you can get like a brutality. So there's stuff that you can find potentially in the crypt that's on that rotation, but you can't just go into the crypt and be like, oh, this chest is 12,000 coins. I'm just going to pay $2 and open it.
Yeah.
Or I will buy X amount of coins with real money. You can't do that. There is no purchasing the actual cosmetics or there's no purchasing the currency that's used in the crypt.
Yeah, and you can't use time. Correct.
Right.
I just making
No,
sure
yeah.
that's a thing.
And you can't you also can't buy augments with real money. And augments are the thing that changed your character's stats because the gear in this game is strictly cosmetic.
Yeah.
So now that that's out of the way, I wish I liked it more. The gameplay itself is phenomenal. It feels great. I haven't really found my person yet, even though I've gone through and beaten everyone's story tower, and I've beaten the story mode. There's a couple characters that I'm liking, but no one's really jumping out to me this game, which is a bummer. And part of it is because of how much I hate the Towers of Time.
Because you can't go into it at all. You have to do what I did in Injustice 2.
You can, and they have since fixed it. The opening week, it was atrocious. It was just blatantly unfair.
Yeah.
In a very unfun way. And they have since gone in and nerfed it a little bit, but it still kind of sucks. And today I found myself putting. I found a good loadout, an AI loadout that just wipes the floor with the computer for the most part. And I just put it on and let it collect rewards for me while I was reading Batman. That's not how. That's
not how you should be enjoying the game.
I made fun of you for doing that in Injustice.
Yeah, but time out. And what he just meant is what you just said, enjoying the game. I enjoyed the hell out of Injustice 2. And I did that, I'd be willing to say 70% of the time.
Yeah, but that's not how I enjoy Injustice. And that's not how I wanted to enjoy Mortal Kombat at all. Like, I want to be able to get in and, like, kind of figure out a character and never be good enough to go online and be viable, but, you know, at least feel like I'm making progress.
Yeah.
The problem is all of the classic towers, which are like the story ones and then your endless and survival and stuff, those rewards kind of suck.
Yeah.
If you want to get like actual skins and augments and consumables to use in those towers of time, that's another thing you cannot buy with real money is consumables, which are the things that make the fights easier. Like, you can regain health or summon in a missile or someone will run in and attack your opponent type thing. Mm-hmm. You can't buy those with real money. But, like, you have to play those towers of time, and they're just, like, for me personally, like, they're not a lot of fun. They're way more doable now as opposed to just bashing your head against the wall, minus the gauntlet. The gauntlet is some straight-up crap. Like, it is unfair still, just levels of annoying. But that said, like, between the gift they gave you, I'm sitting on, like, which I already spent all of that gift, but I'm sitting on, like, 2 million coins. And the crypt is kind of fun to explore a little bit. Like, I think
it's neat.
There's some light puzzle solving, and now that I'm just like flush with cash because I've just been doing nothing but grinding these towers all day, letting my noob Cybot bot grind towers all day, I can go and pretty much open whatever I want. And that's like, it's kind of cool, and exploring it is cool. There's a lot of little attention to detail and neat Easter eggs and stuff you can find in the crypt. But man, the towers of time are such a huge miss for me. Mm-hmm. And that really bums me out. That said, still very much looking forward to who the DLC characters are, because we still have gotten no announcement other than Shang Tsung. And the gameplay is super, super fun. I think I might end up going online more just because I don't want to do the towers. Like, I'd rather get my butt handed to me by, like, a real person than get my butt handed to me because the computer was on hard, and also there's these 3 things constantly coming at me.
It's a learning experience.
From off screen.
Yeah. No, it just does not sound like fun.
Like, level 2 of the gauntlet is you have to fight Cassie Cage, who's like, I think she's on hard. And then she can summon in Jackie, who will attack you. She can summon in a Kungjin arrow, which if it hits you, it not only does it do damage, but it ties you up, so you're basically frozen. And then she summons in this airstrike that comes down, is unblockable, and if it hits you, you catch on fire, so you take damage over time while she can combo you. I have been hit by that as the final hit, and I stay on fire through the mid-round animation, and I start taking damage as soon as the second round starts.
Wow.
And see, like, so Injustice 2 had that in the multiverse.
Right.
Not to that, like, silly of a level.
Right.
Because, like, when they would give, like, you would have a fight like that where you'd be like, this person can do all this, but you have an assist.
But you also know exactly, like, but it's also kind of themed around, like, what your reward's going to be, which some of these kind of are. And don't get me wrong, I'm not one of these people who's complaining because there is a grind. If they are wanting to support this game for longer than they've ever supported a game before, which is going to be years, yeah, you're darn right. I don't want to unlock everything in the first 2 months.
Yeah.
Give me something to keep working towards. But this Towers of Time, this ain't
Make it fun to work towards it.
Yeah, but it's really not that fun. And there's specific character towers that I haven't really been messing around with hardly at all. Like, I have to hit a few more uppercuts to get Noob Cybots, like, next. Before I can even unlock the next tower for him, I have to get, like, 12 more uppercuts. So, which is, like, that's super easy to do, and I can just jump in a few games and knock that out. But, yeah, it's just, The combat itself is great, like, and it feels great. It's slowed down a little bit, but once you kind of adjust and kind of get a grasp for some of the characters, like, it is really, really fun.
So for folks that are wanting to pick up a new competitive fighting game, solid.
Yeah, because I haven't gone online a lot, but from everything I've seen, like, the netcode is the best it's ever been. This is kind of the new gold standard for online fighters from everything I've seen. And like I said, there's granted you're limited to 2 tournament viable. So you can make your own class and go on casual, but if you want to play ranked, you have to use one of the 2 pre-made loadouts, which you can make your character look however they want, but the moveset is locked to those 2 loadouts.
I like that.
Which apparently a lot of people are saying that's really limiting.
I mean, it's
Which, granted, when you go through and like look at all of the options you have to like equip stuff, it's almost a little overwhelming, especially when you haven't used the character before.
Yeah.
So that was one of the things I did. Like I spent almost like an hour just dedicated going through. I did this yesterday, going through and just like, okay, so I'm going to finish out all my story stuff, but I don't have anyone. I don't know how I'm going to like what I want to use or how they look like. So stuff I've already unlocked from the crypt, I'm going to make everyone look how I want them to look based on what I have available, and then go through their move lists and figure out what loadout I want to use.
Yeah, and from a balancing perspective, that makes a lot of sense because like
'cause
once you start getting into like that much customization and stuff,
It's near impossible to.
yeah.
Balance
And that's
all.
why like in Smash 4, they were briefly messing around with a minute like for you people being able to do custom move sets and stuff. But like in addition to some of the unbalanced stuff that created, like there were a few tournaments that were starting to do that, but they started having to ban certain loadouts because there were some that were outright broken. And then it also took forever to set up like in a tournament setting because you'd have to set it up on every system you go to.
Right.
Eventually and Nintendo said like we're not really gonna spend a lot of time balancing that stuff. So yeah, that just straight up got banned from tournaments. So yeah, it makes sense that just out of the gate they're like, you use these two.
And NetherRealm has said that they hear the backlash from that, and they are going to implement more. So characters will receive essentially. It sounds like they're going to have every character have at least a third. And also they listen to the community, and like I put it in the group chat, that Maximilian Dude, who is one of the most like optimistic, super nice personalities in the fighting game community, was like, this is not fun. And after that, they're like, yeah, this was tweaked wrong. Like, I don't know if it was a mistake at launch or if they just designed it really badly. But to their credit, they did go in, and now some of the unblockable like things are now blockable. They reduced the rate you could do them. They also upped the load, or they upped the payout. So now, because it didn't hit Xbox until like Thursday or Friday. So before, I was getting if I got a fatality, I got 1 heart. And if I got a brutality, that's 2. Now you get 3 and 5.
Ooh.
The soul shards, you get like 15 every match, I think. I'm not 100% sure what the rate is on those.
I haven't booted the game up in a minute.
Coins, if you're going through those towers at a time, you were tripping over coins. Like, I got like 60,000 for doing 1 tower.
Huh.
So it's, and the average chest in the crypt averages between like 1,000 to like 15,000. So that's pretty solid.
So like I haven't gone into it as much as you have. I've pretty much only done the story, and then I did the tutorials over all the characters. I really like it. But I'm not the person that's going to be like progressing this game for the next. Or I'm not going to be the person supporting this game for the next year.
Right. And like Injustice, the multiverse, like you said, I would play through those multiverse towers until I got to something that I just outright couldn't do. And then I'd be like, okay, I'll get a bot load out and try to see like if they can do it, just so I can get that reward, even though I've done, 9 out of the 10 objectives.
Yeah.
Whereas this, it's just like from opening moment, some of them are just like, ooh, this is no thank you. Yeah. Also, just going back to the Borderlands 3 thing, they said in interviews that there are no loot boxes. What they meant was you can pay money and then receive random items. The crypt is essentially nothing but loot boxes. They have gone on to clarify to say that the first time I walk into the crypt and the first time you walk into the crypt, if we are so equipped and we go and open every chest, we will receive the exact same items. Those chests will be in different places, though. If I open the immediate chest to the left and you do, we're both getting something different.
Yeah.
But if we go through open everything, we will then have
the same thing.
All of the same things. So there's an element of random there, but not really. It's really weird how they did it.
It's a controlled loot box.
No, it makes sense.
Kind
you basically have a loot table that scratches, like a loot table with a list.
Yeah. So it's but what they said was there are no loot boxes. And it's one of those things where it's like, well, we know what they meant, but those aren't the words you used, and you can't expect everyone in the world, especially the more casual people, or people who don't even like follow anything NetherRealm or Mortal Kombat or Borderlands, to know what you're implying. Because what you're saying is one thing, and because you have a different definition of that word, needs to just catch up with you.
Yeah, and even if it's understandable by like your diehard fans.
Right.
Because like I said, I mentioned like I understood what Randy Pitchford meant. But I also understand that what he said is, while I did understand what he meant by it, still technically not right.
Yeah.
Yeah. To finish that little bit of news before we just completely wrap up here. Yeah, Randy Pitchford went on a tear and just started swearing at the
Game Informer
reporter because sometimes
I can't believe you would F me like this.
Yeah.
Like, really, dude? Come on. Yeah. You're the one. You misspoke. It's easy to be like, hey, yeah, I misspoke. What I meant was it's not, you can't just go in and buy. It's not a pay to win. It's not a random loot box.
Yeah, it's not a free to play style monetary system, which he did imply in context that it's not the free to play style system, but he didn't define what that meant.
Right.
So yeah, either way, Randy, you just need to hire me anytime you're going to tweet. I can tell you, nah, bruh.
Send me $200 every time.
Or go ahead. I'll tell you one of the two. And I might have and if it's a Nabra, I'll follow that up with.
Here's what you should say.
Yeah, here's what you should say
for $50 more. I'm trying to make you coin.
Oh yeah, I appreciate
So
that.
much
I'm
money.
not going to nickel and dime Randy Pitchford.
He's done it to us.
Has he?
Well, not
Oh,
really.
he did it to Claptrap, apparently.
He did it to Claptrap. All right, that's going to do it for us, though, guys. So, yeah, if you want to hear more about Borderlands 3, make sure you tune into Tuesdays, The Hype Train with me, Trevor, and Asa. It'll be a good time with us just, talking about how much we're looking forward to Borderlands 3.
Also, Trevor, Show Tuesday.
Yeah, I'm going to...
Hope you're okay with that.
Yeah, I think I'll be seeing Trevor tonight, and I'll let him know. All right, anyway, thank you all for listening, and, yeah, we'll see you next time.